So the Sony ZV-1 is an excellent small compact camera. The problem with it is that the lens is just way too tight. Well, Neewer has come up with a solution and made this camera a lot easier to handle when you're out vlogging. So the Sony ZV-1, it's a great camera. I really love using it as a secondary camera, a web camera, but the downside with it is it's very difficult to vlog with because the lens is just way too tight. Plus on top of it, you're not able to really stop down enough using the internal ND filter to use the S-Log2 features. Now it's a small sensor and most people would probably be better off just shooting in standard picture profile, but I do sometimes want to get that S-Log2. They put it in the camera, I want to go ahead and be able to use that. And unfortunately, I have two issues. One, it's too tight, and two, you can't use any S-Log2 when you're outside on a normal day. So Neewer's come up with this solution, which is the Neewer LS-18 wide angle adapter. As you can see, I currently have on the front of my Sony ZV-1, I already have the mount for this thing. Now, coming in this box does have a mount that goes right onto the front of your camera, which screws on using an Allen wrench. So the weight of the lens is actually absorbed by this mount versus hanging off the front of your lens. Definitely will over time help your camera not burn out those motors of the lens going in and out. The only downside with this is it does make your camera a little bit longer, a little bit more like a regular DSLR camera. It's still very small, very compact. It has this adapter right here, and with this adapter, it does have some spring loading on the front, which allows the lens to come in and out. So all of the weight of the lens is actually mounted on this spring tension versus on the front of your lens. Now, I typically use the Sony ZV-1 as a web camera, but with this adapter, this gives me the ability to go outside and actually do some vlogging. So how it works is you have the front element that now is attached to the camera. It has this clip-on, just like any sort of lens that you would clip on a standard mirrorless camera. You'll line up the two things, clicks into place, and now you have your front adapter on here. Now this front adapter does have a 49mm filter thread on it, so you can put 49mm filter threads on here, and if you want to use this thing still with the standard lens, you can definitely do that. But what's nice about this additional adapter, it does get you that wide angle lens. On the front here, you do have a 62mm filter thread. It says so actually on the back of the cap versus on the front of the lens. So if you notice, it does definitely increase your footprint when you're using this extra wide angle lens. But what's kind of nice is you can hold it from underneath now when you're out there vlogging, and you definitely get a wider field of view, which is great. I feel a lot more confident. I feel better that when I turn this thing on, it's not going to break the motors that are in the ZV-1. All of the zoom functionality is actually done by this adapter, which is spring loaded. And for the price of this thing, it's not going to break the bank. Now, I was able to pick this up on Amazon for $55 for the black version, or if you have the white ZV-1, you can pick it up, and unfortunately it is going to cost you $69. So for $55, this is a really great addition to your camera. Now the Ulanzi lens, which attaches to the front, and you also have to put a sticker filter onto your camera, which is semi-permanent, it actually runs $49. So only for $6 more US, you're able to get this adapter, which definitely makes it easier to hold your camera because you can hold it from underneath. You don't have to worry about burning out your motors, and you get that nice wide field of view that a lot of people are looking for out of their Sony ZV-1. Even with active stave on, you still get plenty of wide field of view. So let's go ahead and get outside, and I'll show you exactly how this wide angle lens works on the Sony ZV-1. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we're outside now shooting with the Sony ZV-1. Now, I currently don't have any filter on this thing, but what is really nice, you can use this with a 49mm filter thread and still be able to throw on some SD filter to help knock down that exposure. But right now, instead, I'm shooting it at f5.6. But let's say we want to blur out some of this background. That is another perk of using this wide angle lens. All right, so now I've turned around because I do want to try and get you the widest angle possible, but I also don't want the wind blowing in the microphone. This is without the wide angle adapter on here. I'm gonna go ahead, put it on right now. I'll give you a side-by-side comparison. Man, is it cold out here. All right, so now we have the wide angle adapter on here. I got my arm all the way out. Definitely see there's a lot more in the background that you can see. Now what's nice is I do have access to a 62mm filter thread at the end of this thing, so I can go ahead and slap on some variable ND. So right now I am at f5.6 to try and get the exposure where it needs to be. I'm gonna go ahead and slap on an ND filter and let's see how low we can make that f-stop go. All right, so now I have my Peter McKinnon 6 to 9 stop filter on here. I have it at 6 stops. I was able to turn the ND filter off completely in the camera. I'm able to get that 1.8 f-stop. So also I still have the active stave on, and look at how wide and nice this is. You get some nice smoother footage. I'm not going to say it's the smoothest thing, but you get some nice smoother footage. So this wide angle adapter is really great. I will 100% sign off that this is a great addition. The other nice thing is too, you can hold the camera from underneath, which really helps give you better support, and you don't need tripod stick or some of that nature. If you like this video, I'm sure you're gonna like the video on the screen now. Go ahead and click on that video. I'll see you on that one next. Before you leave, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. It's freezing out here. Let's get inside. Goodbye.